legacy. Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Mel and PIP's in on this legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.
What's going on, people? How everybody doing? Welcome to the Mark and Will Show. And as you see by the intro, it's a different show tonight. It's the Legacy Show. And I'm going to tell you what. I've been chopping up the bits to get to talk to Famo for a minute. He's busy. He's very busy. And y'all know who we get on here. Quit playing. LaKunta Farmer. And look, I had to put Coach on her, man, because you did, hey, Hall of Famer, former Bulldog, former K-State, former Ballot, Dogs. I know I'm leaving a whole bunch of other stuff out there, brother, but hey, thank you for joining me tonight, man. Appreciate
Man,
you.
I appreciate you having me, bro. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, man. You know what? This even looking at different things, reading articles, sitting around things you have done and accomplished, man. It was a must grab because our platform, man, I think now what we do is really kind of center around the kiddos, trying to give them a platform to be seen and also bring the coaches in and all that kind of stuff like that. You know, a lot of people don't get to talk to the coaches, get to know about them. And for granted, you're the AD now and just retired, but never too late to bring a Bulldog on the show.
No, never too late. It's always good to be amongst fellow Bulldogs, man.
Right.
Listen, you showed me the way, so I don't have a choice but to follow, man.
And I'm gonna tell you what. And plus, I don't know if you remember. I'm Parkway, Southwestern Parkway.
Right, yeah.
Yes, sir. Right there. Yes, sir. Big time. So let's go on and get into it, man.
Okay.
Let's get into the WEB, the boys athletic director. How did that come about? And because I know that you retired, and we'll talk about the Hall of Fame, things like that. But how did that come about, man?
So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do after coaching. I knew once I coached both of my sons, I was like, I'm done. Like, that's been my goal since I was young, man, since I started coaching 20 years ago, man. I was just like, I needed something else to do. It was either be an assistant principal, try to be a principal, a counselor, or athletic director. So I hit up Bobby Vinegar, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm ready. Let's get this athletic director thing going. He was like, meet me at Camera at 3:30. So we sat and talked. And it was right before we played Manual, you know what I mean? So in between pregame stuff, I ran over there. We sat and talked. He was like, "I'll have something for you." And we went through a couple of schools, man. Talked about a couple of schools, and he was like, "You know what? I think you'd be a good fit at Du Bois." And I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "Yeah, man. Listen, your enthusiasm, the way you are, you get to build this from the ground up, bro." And I'm forever grateful for that thought process from him. You know what I mean? That respect that he saw that much in me.
Right.
So, that's how it really came about. And, I guess after our football season was over, I kind of gravitated over there. And so working there and at Ballard for the last 6 months, man. So since January. So it was cool though.
So for the people who do not know about Du Bois, break it down. What kind of sports they have and the grades and the whole situation, because a lot of people are new to that.
Right. So Du Bois started in 2017. It started with 18. Really, first 18 was the first year. So it started with.
All right. On a stormy night. Let me see. Let me go ahead and get them out and tell them to hit me back If you can hear me, LaKunta, go ahead and call back in. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Technical difficulty, big time. What we got going on? Rainy night. All right, let's do it. Get him back on here. I know he's gonna hit me back. So let's see here. While we wait on that one, so I'm sure he's gonna call me back. So let's get caught up on some scores. Let's see here. Let's get into some Wednesday scores. Major League Baseball. We can go ahead and get that rocking and rolling. Uh, let's see here. Hope everybody had a good day. I know it's a little storm. I ain't gonna say a little storm. Storm knocked out a lot of stuff. So hopefully people can go ahead and be able to join and talk and hope no trees or any kind of damage bother anything. Um, Let me see here. All right, cool. Let me get an update on the Major League standings. As we got it right now, you got the Yankees with a 13-game lead over the Red Sox. You got the Twins over the Guardians, 4.5 game. In the West, you got the Astros with a 13.5 lead over the Mariners. The Mets with a 2.5 game lead over my Braves. Do your thing, Braves. In the Central, you got the Brewers with a 2.5 game lead over the Cardinals. In the West, you got the Dodgers with a 5.5 game over the Padres. They stretching it out, doing what they have to do. Trying to go ahead and get some of these scores if I can. And that'll be cool. If not, let's see, things are acting up. It must really be raining outside. That's all I got to say. Um, hmm. NFL, let's go on and do it this way. NFL, uh, we all knew about the tragic death of Demarius Thomas. They're trying to say pretty much he had stage 2 CTE. So, if people think that's not real, it is. Um, and that's a shame. So, um, God bless him and his family. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Cool, 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 cool. I don't know. I'm gonna listen to see if it's storming and all kinds of stuff, man. It's things going on.
Yeah.
Go as we was talking about you explaining what's going on as far as like the sports and different stuff at the boys.
Right. So we, of course, Du Bois is a predominantly African American, all black school, right? We started in, like I said, 2017. They only had sixth grade with 150 kids. So since then, we've grown. Now, starting next year, we'll have 6 through 10. We've got football, soccer, golf, baseball, basketball, wrestling. We'll have wrestling this year. Track and field. Um, I said golf, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
We're going to try to start a swim team at some point,
Wow.
this year. I want us involved in a little bit of every single thing that we can get involved in, man. So we got a lot of kids, a lot of talented kids there that are very good at doing a little bit of everything, man. We got kids that can cook. We got kids that can play ball. We got kids that are academic geniuses. You know what
Right.
I mean? So it's a wide range of kids there. So just trying to figure out how to get all of them involved in activities is a major thing. You know what I mean? And very important to what I want to do at Du Bois.
And look, and what's the grade as far as
Right now we'll be 6 through 10 starting in August.
okay? So
Yeah.
all those sports, and I love all the different sports you said because that's greatness. I love that. Um,
Right.
how do like as far as, and I know you just got into the post, and I know you're gonna have some helping people do that. But like I'm looking at like fundraising. Is that going to be some of the keys to help with some of those sports, or how because the
Well,
reason I'm saying that uh, uh, look at this is that like I wish wrestling was at Male when we went. You know,
right. I agree.
oh, like like how did that kind of sport come about? Do you have to apply for that and then what I'm saying build up? I mean, how's that happen?
So if you want to do a sport, you just got to find a space to do it, right? In your school. We are right now. We're currently in at Old Bruce Middle School, Liberty High School on Indian Trail,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of landlocked. We don't have a whole lot of land to deal with, but we got a lot of kids doing sports. We had 220 kids in the spring doing sports alone. You know what I mean? Between baseball, track and field, football, yeah, flag football. Um, what else did we do in the spring? And soccer, middle school soccer. So between all of those sports, we had 220 kids playing ball. So just to find a space to do the things is one thing. We have great parents. They are very supportive. They're always there. Very into what we're doing. Very engaged. But fundraising is very, very important to all of what we're going to have to do later on. We're getting a new school built, new athletic facilities built
Wow.
over the next 3 to 4 years. Um, Fundraising is going to be major. So, but going back and thinking through my coaching career, fundraising has always been very important to every sport that I've done,
Right. Right.
especially track, because track doesn't get the money that everybody else gets. So being able to get those kids involved in fundraising that doesn't involve them knocking on somebody's door
Right.
trying to sell something was very, it was difficult. It was a difficult task, but we got it done. Um, it was kind of rough at different schools.
Right.
Different schools have different issues when it comes to fundraising. You know what I mean? When I was at Dawson Iroquois, it wasn't as easy to fundraise when I was at Ballard and Fern Creek.
Right.
So those two were different elements, but Du Bois is a different animal in itself. We got a lot of people that come and donate some things to us. Verizon gives us money. Sullivan gives us money.
Wow.
Well, not really money, but
Yeah.
things, resources that we can use in the school. So it's a very lucrative. It can be a very lucrative thing for the kids. We just got to figure out the things that will be beneficial and that'll be a constant thing. That honestly, I want to figure out a fundraiser that's so flowing, free running. We won't have to go further out to make decisions on what we need to do to get things for the kids and for athletics.
You know what? I'm so glad I just did the athletic director because I knew I was going to leave out a lot of schools, but you just ripped out Fern Creek, Iroquois. I'm like, hold on, man. I'm so glad that I did not embarrass myself with that one because I'm not trying to hold back or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get
Right,
first dibs as a male bulldog, but
right.
touch many, many kids, many families' life, and I definitely didn't want to go that route, kind of step on anybody's toes. But
No, you good?
let me, you know what? Because like I told you, we're definitely gonna get into the knowing about you a little bit deeper. But I want to hit something that first of all, what you're doing, that's neat. I love that. Building it from scratch and all these programs, that's tough, and that's great because you created. It's your baby. Ain't nothing like it, and I love that. I respect you for that. But speaking of babies,
It's freezing again.
able to coach your own kids, man. Talk about that a little bit because I don't want to miss out on that. We can always do, but I want to go ahead and hit that right off the bat, bro. Coaching your own kids, man. How special was that, bro?
So I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. 2016 rolled around, and Jaden goes into high school. I was nervous. I didn't know how that was going to work out. How our relationship coming home. We whatever happened on the field, we still got to come home and deal with it. So it was a blessing, man. Like I prayed for this. You know what I mean? When you pray for something for so long and it finally happens and you're in it, you like, God, this is what I pray for. Thank you. You know what I mean? So God puts the pieces together of the puzzle so smoothly and so effortlessly. We just got to be able to play in that puzzle. But I was nervous, going in, but it worked out because I, of course, coached primarily defense. I was defense coordinator, and he was a running back, but he played defense too. But he was mostly a running back. But so I made it a point not to go over there to the other side unless I saw something that he needed some correction on.
Right.
And he liked that part of it. And he liked the part where I left him alone. But if I saw something, I went to him. I got in his ear. I'm not a yeller or a screamer like that. Not in my kids, but I will talk with some aggression, and I get in his ear versus loud in front of everybody. Right. So, but to watch him grow from Jay, and I'm not just talking about Jay right now, but to watch Jay grow from that little freshman running back to being a 1,999-yard rusher, 200-yard receiver, 26 touchdowns, leading rusher in Ballard history. You know what I mean? To watch that growth from one way to another, and to see him now, it's undescribable. I really couldn't tell you like all the feelings I have inside. I get emotional. And then Malachi, the immature kid that came into high school 2 years later, I'm looking at him like I don't even know if he wants to play. Me and my wife talked about it. Like, does he really like football? Is he really going to do this? You know what I mean? And so just watching him grow, and then junior year, pre-COVID, dude was 5'7", 175, 80 pounds. When we were able to play football again, dude was 6'1", 210. He is right now 6'4", 230. Like, he just keeps growing. But like, to watch his growth on the field, to watch his maturity on the field, to watch his leader, both of them, the leadership aspect, something crazy.
Right.
And it's something that I just always just sat back and enjoyed watching, man. And just Malachi was a great tight end, but to watch this kid block, have mercy. We were playing Trinity, bro, and he literally took a kid from the numbers and drove him into the fence. Ran back on the field and blocked somebody else. Like, dude is the aggression. Both of them's aggression is unmatched, man. The relentless effort on the field, the want to be the best is unmatched, and it was emotional thinking about it.
Sounds familiar.
You're right,
the apple don't fall too far from the tree, do it? I mean,
no, not at all. But I was a defensive guy. I had to be aggressive.
Hey,
these guys was aggressive on offense, so people be in trouble when they get the ball. You know what I mean? So I've seen many a child get stiff armed to the ground and laugh about it. You know what I mean? And it didn't matter how big the kid was. I mean, Malachi, he's got a picture of one kid. I think he's literally holding himself up on the kid's helmet while the kid's laying on the ground. Like, it's nasty.
Love it. You know what? Nothing better than a nasty offensive player.
Not at all.
Most of the time, it's maybe an offensive lineman looking, nasty and stuff like that. But when you get the specialties, the running backs, the tight ends that's nasty, oh, yeah. I love that. Because then it's on. Yeah, you're going to check somebody's manhood. Like, you supposed to be soft. Nah, I ain't like that. Yeah, I love that. I love that, man. So, hey, right there, man, that's special. I love that you was able to accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? Plus much more. And so as we go ahead and talk about sports and growing up, How old were you when you first started playing, and what sports did you play?
So I started playing basketball, bro. I think you remember my sister Tanya. She
Oh yeah,
played at Mill,
yes.
of course. She was All American, all that wonderful stuff. And I wanted to be like my sister. I wanted to hoop. So like we had a basketball goal in the backyard. I went to the park every day, dirt bowl, played all of that. But one day she was like playing with me and she was like, you might want to play football. I was like, why? She said, you're way too aggressive. You like to foul people. I think you'd be good at football. So at 11 years old, I walked down the Flagey Field and I get on the team,
Yes.
and there it was. I've been playing since I was 11. I loved. I didn't lose a football game till we lost to Ballard my sophomore year.
Whoa. Oh.
So
Oh.
I didn't know how to lose, right? So I mean, we were
Oh.
undefeated with the
Oh.
Rams,
That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack. That's
right? We
not
were undefeated.
wow. So you got, hey, you got the shot call these teams now that you was on.
So as a Ram, I don't even remember. I mean, we had the firefighter Lions, the firefighter Giants, the Steelers, all of these little league teams back then, man. Um, but we really was rolling through them, man. Got some couple championships. Vernon Gibson, excuse me, Vernon Gibson. His, I mean, was a phenomenal coach. Coach Owens,
Mm,
Sid Graves, was a
right.
phenomenal dude, phenomenal coach, man. Still to this day, dude, literally, he'll jump on a post of mine and be like, man, Rams for life. You know what I mean? Um,
That's what it's
I,
about.
I always laugh. I always laugh about Coach Owens because he's the first person to introduce me to NWA. Listen, F the police. I'm like, what is this? What are we listening to? You know what I mean? I'm a little kid, but they that was the foundation, man. That was the foundation, and I got to mail and
Hold on. Hold on.
watching.
Hold on,
What's up?
real quick, real quick. Like, so, was middle school football existing then when you was?
I mean,
Or did they cut it out? Or did you stay with the little league with the Rams and stuff like that?
I stayed with the Rams until eighth grade. Well, eighth grade. I think TMS had a team. I don't know if anybody else did. The Centurion.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I've been in them play for.
That's who I played for. Yep.
Yeah. But that's the only team that I can think of that had a middle school. Now, mind you, that was 1991. I don't remember way back then.
Right.
Too many
Bird,
questions.
I think Bird tried to put something on the field. I don't know.
Right.
But go ahead.
It wouldn't have mattered if they did or not.
So when you get the mail,
So I get to mail, and we as freshmen, man, we get to that first practice, and the atmosphere is so different than what I knew.
right?
You know what I mean? It was like we broke down on state champs, and that's what it really was. Like that was the mission, that was the goal every day. So to go into that freshman year, and of course, none of us freshmen played varsity at that point in time.
Right.
So going into that and starting the dog pound, because that's what we ended up doing because we couldn't get on the field. So we just all got in the stands and acted a fool every week. So we literally started the dog pound in '92, and it just went from there. That atmosphere that we had in Mail, man, the band, the crowd, the people, that Mail manual game, highly unmatched by anything.
Right.
I mean, heck, I went to a HBCU, and sometimes that Mail manual game was like right along the lines of a lot of games we played.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the atmosphere, but I loved every minute of being in Mail. I loved playing for Coach Redmond.
Red.
Big Red. Honestly, who influenced me the most as a freshman was Redmond's daddy, Pappy.
Happy.
Pappy was that dude, man. Like, just, I remember freshman year sitting there and he, telling us stories about the civil rights movement and how he helped move stuff and get civil rights and different things moving in Kentucky, in Louisville. And then after I graduated from college, man, I ran into Pappy and I went to his house and I sat on his porch, because I was a history major.
Right.
Man, we talked so much about, just segregation and
Wow.
integration in Louisville. My man was so knowledgeable about things, man, and just he loved doing what he did for kids. And I see why Coach Redmond's the way he is.
Yeah.
See why Chris is the way he is. And we just I found a new respect for him when I got back from school. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so Male High School was a heck of an experience, and that run that we had from
Ooh.
my sophomore year to my junior year to going in my senior year, man, I didn't have a choice but to try to be the best I could be out there, because if you didn't, you got your head knocked off
That
in
was
practice.
that time when you was rolling up, or I just left, and Redmond replaced Jordan, and
Yeah,
The rumor was Redmond was supposed to be the coach when I was a senior,
right,
and so they gave old boy the keys one more time, and he caught a flat tire or two.
right,
So so there goes Red, right? And
right,
I'll never forget, man, coming to visit. I tell the story all the time, and Red's gonna play the best players. He's not gonna hold no. He don't care if you're a senior. Yeah,
nope,
Johnny that played started 2 years, man. I'm looking on the sidelines and I'm like, man, there's a lot of you seniors on here, bro. And I'm like, damn, like, hey, it ain't the old regime. He gonna go ahead. So I talked to Red. I said, hey, man. I said, hey, coach, what's going on, man? You got look. I'm out. I'm advocating for the old hands. Come on, man. What's going
right.
on? Why, woo, 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 woo. He said, Willie, I will start you. I said, well, I'm done with it. You got it, coach.
Hey,
Sounds
Redmond
good,
used to
baby.
say I can win with 22.
Yeah,
Redmond
yeah.
said I can win with 22. That's
Right.
all I need is 22. If you
That's
can get in
all.
that 22, then let's roll.
That's
And
all.
and bro, like there was a time, especially my senior year, when we lost the Fern Creek, and he was like, I'm gonna show y'all something. He literally set every senior down but me and was like, I can play with 22. If y'all don't want to give everything you got, I'm gonna play with this one. Who gonna come with it? I'm
Wow.
looking around like, oh my God, like we are in trouble. We only lost one game. Like, but that was the mentality. I mean, we lost one game to the point,
Right.
but that was the mentality, man. Like he was different, man. He wanted us to be the best. He wanted competition in practice
Right.
every day, all day.
Right.
So the best dude was gonna play.
Right.
And that's how I coached. And I mean, from that point on, that's how I coached. So, but as a player, I had people in front of me: Trey Hackett, Dewan Daughtery,
Ooh,
uh,
that's right. The
T.J.
brother.
Lanier, Ty Grady. These cats that play linebacker, man. I'm looking at them like I don't know if I could do it like them, but I got to.
Mm-hmm.
And I never forget T. Grady pulled me to the side one day and was like, "Man, you got it. You got it. But I need you to turn up."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know how much more I can do. You know what I mean? But he's
Right.
like, bro, you got to go. And then after he graduated, me, Trey, and Dewan was like this.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So watching Uncle Wilbur destroy people on a regular basis, I had to move. I had to get better. Like I literally would get home and be like, I need to make this move and this move and this move to do this so I can get there, so I can be there before Trey get there. I got to make tackle before Trey get there.
Praise
You know
dirt.
what I mean? But I mean, we flew around. I mean,
Dude,
my spot.
let me ask you this, man, because I think people don't under, understand, like, when I started doing the show, Mark would ask me, he'd be like, man, who's the best? Give me the top three football players all time, man. I said, bro, I'm not answering that. He's like, what
Right,
you
you
talking about?
can't.
I said, I can't. Dude, I don't understand. Like, the outside people don't understand what comes through that door.
Right,
Like, dude, even on a 6-5 team, that's probably a poor coach team because
right,
it's plenty of talent that come through them doors, man. I said, bro, I refuse to answer that, bro. I said, because I was privileged. My pops had me around the the older cats, I knew them. I played, you know what I'm saying? And the younger cats, I know y'all, all that kind of stuff. And the cats after that, you can't do that, man. I don't care. Yeah, you got some people that you like and bald, but man, man is so deep with tradition, man. I don't understand. Like you said, I used to practices was harder than the games. I
Yeah,
went blank.
all day. All day. I know you remember we used to have to run that hill at the baseball field, run down, run all the way back to the back fence, the back of the stadium, and come back. Like that was conditioning on a
Right,
regular basis. Dude really was like, if we can run all day, can't nobody beat us.
right, right,
And that was really what it was. I remember watching you guys, as a eighth grader, as a seventh grader, and being a ball boy as an eighth grader. And with Jordan there, and Vincel Anthony Vincel caught my eye then. My man was wild, running up and down the field. Like, I'm like, wow, this dude is different. Like, he didn't match, and honestly, looking back, he didn't match what Jordan
at all,
was putting out.
at all.
If he could have coached with Coach Redmond, Lord have mercy. I don't think we would have lost the game in 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? But the energy that he brought to that side of the ball was different. But Red wanted us all to be so aggressive, so good, like not to think about what it was,
Right.
just play the game, just go play.
Go play.
You know what I mean?
Go play.
Party at the ball.
Right.
Party at the ball. Let's go get it.
Right.
And he believed defense needed to score so we could win, and we did. We did.
Hey, let's move on. Because we'll be on here all day long about this, and I know it's a lot of stuff I want to cover.
Right.
But get into college. Let's get into college. How was K-State? Break that down, and the experience that you had at K-State.
K-State is probably one of the single greatest things I've ever done. And I say that because I could have played in many other places. I could have transferred and went other places. But the family that I gained at K-State, I would not trade for anything in the world. And that goes from the football team to relationships I made outside of that, the friends, the family. I don't even call them friends. The family I made
Right.
while I was down there, man. The administrators. They wanted us all to be great. No matter who walked through that door at K-State, no matter where you were from, no matter what color you were, they wanted you to be great somewhere, somehow. You know what I mean? And we had so many people that not only the coaches, but you had an academic advisor, the academic advisory team for athletics. You had the AD at the time. You had the presidents. The presidents had your back. You know what I mean? Like it was a family effort to be good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think my 4 years at K-State, I think we won more than any other group in 4 years that had been there. I don't believe we lost the homecoming game that I played in. So, and that is very important to the world of black college sports.
Right.
But I love K-State, man. I learned the actual game of football at K-State. I had some great coaches: George Smalls, Wesley McGriff, William Jones, Mr. Coach Edwards, Chennis Berry, who's the head coach at Benedict College. Coach McGriff's the defense coordinator at U of L right now. All of these guys, man, they made you want to be better. They made you understand that. Coach McGriff used to say all the time, I need you to come in here and leave here with more than what you came in here with. So if you walked in here with no degree, no relationships, no family, he wanted you to leave with a degree, maybe your wife, maybe, anything that was better. Come out of here better than what you walked in here like. You know what I mean? And that was K-State. Like we literally, I could go any city in the state in the United States and get on the Facebook and say, hey, I'm in blah blah blah, and somebody's gonna be like, all right, man, where you at? We'll meet you there. It's just that much love we had for one another, man, and learning so much on that field, um, and just getting to go around to the different historical Black colleges and see different things, man. Coach Small allowed us to kind of sightsee a lot of times just to see how other schools are and how other things were. I mean, I remember my first time going to the AU. We playing Clark Atlanta, and I'm looking around like, this is heaven. Look at this. Look, it's Spelman right here. It's Morehouse right here. Clark
Oh,
Atlanta, Morris. Look at these places. Look at these people. Like, it's just beautiful everywhere. You know what I mean? And I just and then being able to play in front of all of it, being able to go to Tuskegee and play in front of that crowd, man. And Tuskegee is probably one of the hardest places to play in the world. But you had fun, like watching what was going on. it was a different atmosphere, a different world, man. And I loved every minute.
That's hey. You know what? That was an infomercial that you just did. Okay, for real, and that's good. That's good because not everybody understands that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Not everybody
Yeah.
understands that. Everybody can't say this homecoming, but it's bigger than that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And you just broke it down like what I'm saying, what it meant to you to go there, and that was great. I mean, I've had several. You know what I'm saying? K State people on here. I mean, you know them. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I love it because y'all bring people into that. And that's good stuff right there. So leaving K State, what was your next thing you did or wanted to do, or what before, was it straight to coaching, or did you try something else?
So honestly, before I hurt my knee, I had a couple of scouts from different NFL teams really on me. And my senior year, first game, I had like 17 tackles going into the fourth quarter. I had an interception, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I stop a screen on like a third down and like 15. I stop a screen. Dude cut back. I caught him, tore my ACL, MCL, PCL with like maybe a minute and a half left in the game,
Wow.
and just had to get a whole knee reconstruction. And mind you, we were at Miles College, so I had to ride the bus back to Kentucky. Like, it was the worst. But just being able to get hurt like that, sit out another year, being able to graduate early, and then being able to come back and play again was rough.
Right.
But those scouts kind of disappeared, and you have that bad of a knee injury, like a lot of things go south. But my goal, one, was to graduate from college. Two was to try to get to the NFL somehow, some way. And I had a couple tryouts here and there, man. I went to Canada with the Argonauts, trying to try out there. A couple of NFL tryouts that didn't pan out. I had a great agent, man. He gave me a lot of opportunities, and but it just didn't pan out the way I wanted to, and I didn't have the money to continue to chase that dream.
Right.
So it was either start your career or keep chasing a dream that you may or may not get. And at that point, I had my son, I had Jaden, and I didn't want to be a statistic. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be an absent dad. So I had an opportunity down in Tampa, Florida to play Arena 1. And I stayed for about a week and a half. And I looked and I was like, I need to go be a dad. And I left and came back home. So I hung up the cleats then, because of course I didn't want to chase the dream no more.
Right.
And lose money in the process. So I actually started coaching in college, but I started teaching at Iroquois High School and started coaching there from that point.
So Iroquois was the first. I mean, I know you say in college you was coaching, but Iroquois was the first school that you went to and coached.
Yeah, my first actual football job. Yeah.
Okay. What what you position coach or I mean, what was you doing there? Like what position?
So scary enough, I come out and Doug Snyder hires me, and I'm forever grateful for that. But he says, "I need you to be my defense coordinator." I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, let's get it." And I tell this story all the time. The first day of practice, man, I drive up, I come out there, and mind you, they had done summer practice already. So I got there kind of late because I was just coming back from Tampa or whatever.
Right.
So they're warming up and they start doing the Raider jacks, some jumping jacks. So they go RADS Raiders, and I stopped and I was like, oh no, and I just started walking back to my truck like I don't want no part of this here. So, like literally, I was like, what is going on in the world? Like,
please tell me that was a joke.
I would, but I'm not.
Okay.
Listen, I looked at Dart Ramsey. Dart Ramsey was the offense coordinator. I looked at him. I said, "For real, this is what you brought me to? This is what we doing? Okay, I'm gone." but yeah, I started defense coordinator there, and I had to learn real quick. The kids don't know what I know,
Right.
and I didn't understand that for a while. Like, why? If I'm telling you to get downhill and like this, why ain't you going downhill?
Right.
Why ain't you stepping? What is your issue? Like, they didn't have the experience I had, and I had to learn to coach on a kid's level to build them up versus dumping all on them and expect them to be a certain way. And Iroquois humbled you. It humbles you to the most. There's been so many. I guarantee if you count from Doug Snyder to now, it's been over 20 or 25 coaches at Iroquois.
Yeah.
Simply because it's hard to deal with losing one, especially if you're a competitive guy,
Right.
and hard to, you don't know what's going to show up to practice one day to the next.
Right.
You don't know what situation the kid might get into. You don't know if their grade's going to be good. You don't know what to expect. So it was rough. We had a small group. We kept them together, but our district was us, Mel, Manual X, and PRP.
Stop it. Stop.
Oh, my bad. Atherton.
Okay.
Atherton,
Please give me. Yeah.
Atherton was our chance every time.
Oh my gosh. No, sir. How long was you there?
I was there 2 seasons. 2 seasons, man. But I will tell you what I did gain from Iroquois. I gained some valuable relationships with some of the players that are like still close to me today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Darian Gidron is one of my favorite people in the world, man. He played quarterback for us there, and I mean he's still around me. You know what I mean? Like, I realized coaching that building relationships is more important than the X's and O's, more important than the wins and losses.
Right.
I tell kids all the time, I'm the gift and the curse. I'm the gift because I'm gonna be in your life. I'm gonna be in your life all the time. I'm the curse because I'm gonna be in your life all the time. So even when you're grown, if you're doing something crazy, I'm gonna hit you up like, hey, bro, like, hey, you might need to chill out, calm down. That ain't it. That ain't it. You want to pull it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or celebrating with them when they do good stuff. Celebrating with them, enjoying life with them, man. Just I've been in players' weddings. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that you have to learn to get past the X's and O's. You got to learn to get past the wins and losses. Like I said, Iroquois humbles you enough to know, like, this kid's life is more important than what we're doing out here on the field.
Exactly. So check this out. After Iroquois, what job came that you was like, hey, this was cool, it was good, I learned a lot. Now it's time for this next adventure. Where did you go at?
I went to Ballard, and I credit Ballard all the time with being the place that I learned actually how to coach, because I had Mark Catlett was the head coach. He hired me, But I had a guy named Tommy Ackland, and Tommy Ackland, he went to K State. He played football at K State. He's a lot older than me. He's a little bit older than me. I ain't gonna say a lot because he might hit me in the face after this. But but Tommy challenged me, man. Him and Catlin made me coach tight ends. They made me coach O line and D line. They wouldn't let me coach linebackers. He was like, "No, you know how to do that. That's what you do." He wouldn't let me coach the secondary because he's like, "You play safety. You're not doing that either." You know what I mean? So being able to coach O line and D line and tight ends taught me how to coach.
Right.
It taught me to see things that I normally probably didn't see. And it was Tommy was Tommy was one of those people. He'll text me now at 2 a.m. and be like, "Hey, Farmer, what you think about blah 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 blah?" Like that's how he worked.
Right.
So my mind now works that way because inside the box, like you gonna give me a double tight look. Most people gonna try to stack the box. Well, I'm gonna give you 3 D linemen and then 2 and 4 linebackers. Now we're gonna run with you. So
Right.
wherever you're gonna go, we're gonna run with you, and I'm gonna send blitzes everywhere. So like the thought process had to be different. And I learned that at Ballard, man. And I took that to Fern Creek after that. And I got the defense coordinator job at Fern Creek. And I was there for 2 years. And we were really defensively really, really good. And then I coached track at Fern Creek as well. I was a head track coach at Fern Creek. And that transitioned to being the head coach at Dawes High School.
Let me ask you this. Let me go back real quick.
Okay.
Mel, did you do track at Mel?
I did. I ran track for Coach Khan.
Coach Khan, because I know that Red, they like that. You know what I'm saying? Get in there, get that speed, do all that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. So you went to Fern Creek.
Yeah, that's where all the rings came from.
What's that?
All them back-to-back rings.
Yeah, big time.
My dad used to be mad every year, like, I got to buy another one. I was like, yeah, we won.
I need that. I need that for that football, that track. Yeah.
Right, I need that bling.
So you said you went to, after you went to Fern Creek, you went to Dawson and became the head coach.
Yeah.
Okay. How was that being? Now I'm the leader of this program. Now I've been defense coordinator. I've been the other, coaches, assistant coach. Now this is my program. You've been taught. You have learned a lot of stuff. You have been exposed to a lot of things. Now, head coach.
The lessons I learned from Doug Snyder, from Mark Catlett, from Wesley McGriff, from Bobby Redmond, all of these guys, man, from George Smalls, I put that in a blender.
Mm-hmm.
And I added me to it.
Mm-hmm.
And once what came out was a confident, young, aggressive coach that needed confident, young, aggressive coaches to go with me.
Right.
And I want to really say to you, at first staff I had at Dawes, if y'all met us in the dark alley, you probably would have lost. You know what I mean? Because honestly, from front to back, we were a scary sight if you ever. But coaching, man, I couldn't ask for a better offense coordinator than Dante Pimpleton.
Ooh, okay.
My man was way beyond his time, way behind, where he was at that point.
Right.
The dude offensively could dissect the defense, man. We were averaging 25 to 30 points a game.
The Creek, right?
And
didn't he come from the Creek?
He came from Fern Creek, yeah. And he went to Western Kentucky and played. Yeah. And, I talked him into coaching because he didn't want to coach. I talked him into coaching. I'm like, bro, come on, man. I need you. He was like, nah, man. I was like, I know. I need you. So he came over. Damon Butler came over. Doc Butler came through. Jason Wyatt came through. He was on the staff. Nelson Jackson. When I tell you Joe Washington,
That was loaded.
from yeah, we were coaching wise, we was loaded, man. But these dudes knew football.
Right.
They knew football. Leroy Little, from Western Kentucky. These dudes knew football, man.
Right.
I never forget. We walked out on the field the first game, and we were playing. We were away at DeSales, and the mistake I made was reading the paper and seeing how the picks.
Right.
I didn't really pay attention to them until I was a head coach. So I get the paper and they got us losing by 28.
Ooh.
And I called Dante. I'm like, we can't lose by 28. We can't lose by 28. Bro, we come out first play of the game, run a double reverse flea flicker. We score on the first play of the game. The crowd goes crazy. The sidelines go crazy. And it was just rolling after that, bro. Like
Right.
we went 7-5. We went 7-5 that year, and nobody saw us coming. I think the teams we lost to were PR, all 6A teams, and we were 5A. I mean, we lost to Butler, we lost to PRP, and then of course we lost to John Harden in the end, who was ridiculously talented at that point. But we lost to John Harden twice. But that team was special. But the scary part of that special team was we only had 5 seniors.
Oh.
So we came back the next year and won 11-3 or 12-3.
Right. Took care of it.
And was a game and a half, game away from winning going to a state championship. You know what I mean? So like just those coaches that I had, those kids that I had, they were different, man. They just wanted somebody to win. They wanted somebody in there to care enough to win. And the biggest pressure I had was following Ty Scroggins.
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
I gotta follow Big Cuz, man. Nah, this dude. So he helped me along the way, man. Especially at Doss, he told me what to look out for, who to look out for, who can I trust, who I can't trust. He never he left Doss and went to Central, but he never really left Doss because he was always on my phone. He was always in my ear. You know what I mean? I'd always call him and be like, "Hey, Ty, what you think about X, Y, and Z?" You know what I mean? But like, I had to follow that dude. You know what I mean? So that was my challenge. That was my goal. I wanted to be a better coach at Boston than Ty Scroggins. He started winning state championships. I'm like, oh, you done turned up the pressure on him.
He done turned up for real. Like, hold on.
Man, Ty Scroggins changed the game. He changed the landscape in Louisville, man. And I'm forever grateful to be his friend, be considered somebody that he cared about, man, and somebody that I care about deeply, man. Just
rest in peace,
being able to follow that dude was amazing in itself.
Let me ask you this: how long was you the head coach at Doss?
8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
When them 8 years was up, what made you leave?
So I'm gonna tell you the spiritual aspect of it.
Okay. All right, I'm here for it.
So let me tell you the spiritual aspect. So Doss was a great experience, but it weighed on me. It mentally beat me up because I literally buried a lot of kids while I was at Doss. We lost a lot of kids, and even until now, man, like I've spoken at numerous funerals. I've seen many different things, man, and trying to keep these kids out of trouble, and keep myself out of trouble as well. At the time, I was young, you know what I mean, and young guy trying to get his life together, trying to make it, you know what I mean, trying to be what these kids needed me to be. And I paid a kid's light and gas bill You know what I mean? Just so they had lights. I bought clothes for kids. I bought shoes
Right.
for kids, and I didn't even have it myself to do.
Right.
It weighed on me. I was a coach to a lot of. I never will ever call them at risk kids because I hate that term.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there were kids that were into some things that was not good. You know what I mean? That caused me stress because I'm getting calls at 2, 3 in the morning. Coach, can you come get me? Coach, I'm in this situation. Coach, I just got shot at. Coach, my mom done OD'd and blah, blah, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to figure out how to save the world and I'm losing mine. You know what I mean? I'm losing my mind in my world, man. And not many people know this. Not my last year, the second to last year at DOS, man. I was getting these real, real bad headaches to the point where I would like black out and come back like, oh,
Wow.
what happened? Like, did I fall asleep? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was scared, man. I was
Yeah.
I was real scared. There were times I think that last year we beat more and I sit down on the bench. The next thing you know, everybody's around me. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, they like, man, you gotta go to the hospital. I'm like, what is happening? Right.
Right. Right.
So my relationship was suffering. You know
Right.
what I mean? I wasn't fully engaged in where I needed to be with my relationship. You know what I mean? And not only with my lady, but with God.
Right.
All that was caving in on me. And honestly, I still would have never left if I hadn't got told that I needed to go. We were 7-5 that year.
Right.
7-5. We beat we won the first round of playoffs to a team we probably shouldn't even been in the game with. We beat them. The kids was excited about the next year. I was excited about the next year, but I knew early on in that year that this is probably going to be our last one because I got into it with the principal a little bit,
Right.
uh, of course, trying to protect kids, trying to go to bat for kids, and just I remember a guy that worked at former coach at Doss. His name was Mark Henry. He still worked in the building. Me and him was real close. Um, and Mark Henry passed away the week after the season was over. And I mean, we were hurt. Like, I mean, everybody in the school was hurt. I literally the next week, the principal calls me in and says, "Hey, we're not going to bring you back." And I was like, "Well, why?" He was like, "Well, your kids are undisciplined.
Mm.
Uh,
Wow.
you're unorganized. Uh, just all this craziness." And I'm like, "We were winning. How is this happening? I mean, what is going on?" What I couldn't see was all this was look from the outside looking in was probably did look disorganized. It probably did look crazy because you can't see what other people do, and when they're critiquing you on what they think should be a certain way, you never know. And when you got the power, you can cut it off at any given time.
But
You
I
know what I
want.
mean?
But you know what? Let me say this. Former player in social field. You know what I'm saying? I help people, things like that. Uh, I'm so glad that you just share that because I think people don't understand what the coaches go through. You're not just a coach. You're a father.
Right.
You're a role model. You know what I'm saying? You everything. Like you said, you receiving calls in the morning. Not people. Not a coach that has to deal with. Hey, coach, I've been shot at. And what you gonna do? You don't put your clothes on and go get this kid. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you gonna be
Yeah.
there because you're probably only the figure that this kid can depend on. And like
Right.
not just one kid. You know what I'm saying? Like this is you have kids, all those players are your kids on this team. And
Yeah.
like you there, you go for bet. So going up, speeding up, yeah, it's this you might think it's disorganized, but you're not getting them calls, right?
Right.
You're not
Yeah.
sitting there hearing that, hey, I ain't got no food at home, coach. You're not
Yeah.
hearing, hey, I can't stay up because I got to go ahead and watch my little, I got to do all kinds of stuff that maybe my parents should have done, but my parents not there. People don't
Yeah.
understand that. It's totally different. But everybody
They,
wants to go ahead and jump on coaches and be like, "Oh man, you gonna curl? You don't put up. Man, are you receiving 53 to 80 something to 100 calls or whatever?"
no,
Talking about, man, I got to do this. I got to do that. So hey, I really appreciate you sharing that because that side is not told enough,
right.
and everybody wants
And,
to judge.
and the thing is, man, God like literally will put you in a position to handle all of that until He feels like it's time for you to go.
Right,
And when He felt like it was time for me to go, He pulled me out of there because I don't think I would have survived
right,
mentally
right,
if I had stayed any longer.
right.
You know what I mean? And it
That's
was a
deep.
blessing.
That's
It was
deep.
a blessing in disguise, man. Like I just needed to go, and like when I finally left Doss completely,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like every weight in the world was lifted off my shoulders.
Wow.
But I still cared about these kids, man. So
Right, 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 right.
I'm still going back. I'm still trying to figure out, hey, what's this kid doing? What's that kid doing? I didn't really have a relationship with the new head coach. So, but Doc stayed. Doc Butler stayed because he
Not
was still there with me.
right.
But Doc stayed and he stayed on the staff. So I felt I'm okay to go because
Yeah,
Doc got it.
that
You know
connect.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You already know. You already know.
And, and honestly, you know, my Bulldog brother, my brother, look, his mom was one of my favorite people. Doc Butler is one of the greatest
This
men I
monster.
know.
Yes.
And he does a lot more behind the scenes than anybody knows. And Doc never wants credit for any of that.
Never. Never.
You know what I mean? Don't put him in the limelight. Like I remember I used to take him to do camps. I'll be like, Doc, you got to talk today. He was like, Nah, bro, I ain't saying nothing. You know what I mean? And just kind of forcing him out there to do those things. You
Right,
know what
right.
I mean? Made him
You know,
made him coach a little harder, made him be a little more aggressive with what he did. Man, I love Doc Butler and the fact that he stayed with with that coach
it was good hand.
and still looked after those kids, man,
It was a
was
good.
very honorable to me. You know what I mean? Because I tried to get him to come back to Ballard with me. Just come to Ballard, man. We'll be good going here. He's like, nah, I gotta stay here. I gotta stay here. And I was like, you right. In the end, you right. You are absolutely correct.
Let me chime in on my brother Doc.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought him up. Been knowing him since playing little league baseball. Uh, and I just love what I love is what you said. You know, y'all don't people don't see. I have met a lot of people doing this show that I wouldn't network with, didn't know. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. I wasn't in the realm of that. And I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
for everybody head to toe who knows Doc, I'm learning more of what he does, and I'm not gonna put his business on it. Even though Doc, you coming on the show, you're definitely on the show. Stop playing with me, bro. Come on, you definitely on the show. But you hit it. He does so much stuff behind the scenes that people don't know. That you talk to somebody like, oh, well, he does. Oh, for real? Talk to next to, well, oh, what? Hey, man, Doc is doing his thing. And I love, like you said, he's like, hey, I'm gonna stay here, take care of business. I mean, and he took care of business, and
Did.
that actually allows you, and I know I'm speaking for you, but it allows you to be like, okay, I'm at peace of mind because I know another real good man is handling that business there. So
Yeah.
shout out to
Man,
Doc, and you're gonna be on the show, my brother, real soon.
yeah, man. It was a number of guys that I had at Doss that kind of saved my life, man. Honestly, Mitchell McAllister, Anthony Richardson, Doc Butler, Leroy Littles, man. These guys, like literally, when things were hitting the fan, bro, like these dudes had my back, man. Kevin Salyer, Danny McCready, like just Beth Salyer, Tammy Powers, man, just Strazi Collins. Like there was that we were a tight group, tight knit group, man.
Network, bro, little boy, network.
Yeah, yeah, man, and we took care of one another, man. But when it was time to go, like it wasn't like they were like, "Well, gone, you're gone." They were like, "Man, let's make sure Farmer's good."
Right,
Years later, let's make sure Farmer's good, man.
right,
Because again, it goes back to the relationships, man. If you can't be a great coach, you can't be a great role model. You can't be a great motivator if your relationships with other people don't matter, right? And every time I get into a situation, I try to build these relationships so they last. People talk about reason, season, and lifetime. I want to be a lifetime for everybody that I get involved with. You know what I
Right,
mean? Because if they could call on me, then I can do God's work as they're calling on me.
right,
You know what I mean? And I think that's more important. That I don't think I know that's more important to me than anything in the world. You know, it's just like my shirt says. I got to do my thing in Jesus' name. You know what I
right,
mean? And
right, right,
is whatever it is that God puts on me, I have to give to somebody else. I have to praise for somebody else. I have to like push somebody else to that as well. You know, simply because I know my purpose and I know why God gives me the opportunities and the things that He does.
right, right. You know what? So, okay, we went to those. Now we back to ballot, right? We back to ballot.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
Defense coordinator
yeah.
at that time. Defense coordinator. This is your last stop, right?
This my yeah. It was my last stop,
I
no
mean,
matter what.
well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm gonna tell. Hey, little boy. Let me tell you something funny, real quick. So, I always, I always cover the Bulldogs, but now I cover, pretty much everybody. And so, I posted that you was coming on the show, man, and I don't know if you saw it. And the lady was like, "Oh man, I thought he was coming to mail."
I did. I saw that, bro. Like that. Treese. I've been knowing Treese for a long time, man, and she's always asked me, "Am I going to go to mail? Am I going to go to mail?" And people used to get mad at me because I never went back to mail to coach,
Right, right.
but I never saw the avenue to get back there.
Okay.
The road to get back there was always very crowded, clouded, and
Right, right,
just not for me at the time. I used to always say that's probably other than Ballard, that's probably the only head coaching job that I'd ever take.
right,
But my time ran out.
right, right.
You know what I mean? And I again, there's purple and gold blood in these veins, and there's
Oh
nothing I
yeah,
can do
yeah,
about
no,
it.
that's definitely understandable. That's definitely
And I'll cheer for them to the ends of the earth. But
right,
it just wasn't in the cards for me. It wasn't in God's plan for me to go over there and coach.
right, right, right. So I mean, I just thought it was funny. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I would love to have brother in there. You know what I'm saying? Doing this dude,
Right, right, right.
he's good. He's good.
Yeah,
So back to Ballard, and
yeah.
of course this was before your sons got there, right?
Right. Yes, definitely.
So defense coordinator, everything is you can breathe, you can do things, and still, things happen no matter where you at, and different things happen. So I don't want everybody to think that this is about Doss because you can go anywhere, male Trinity, saying
Yeah.
that, and have problems. Come on, let's
Right.
keep it
Definitely.
100.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is where he was at. So we're not smearing and all that like that, and everybody knows him, knows
Well,
that hell of a coach he is anyway.
to
Go ahead.
that point, let me say this, and this might be a grim thing to even put out there, but I've been coaching 23 years, 22 years, well, 23. And I've taught at Iroquois, Doss, Fern Creek, Ballard.
Right.
Between the four, I bet I've buried or been at a funeral to over 30 kids.
Wow. That's
I
real.
bet I've been a character witness for at least five. At least five. She's crying.
Wow.
I bet I've
Inflation.
I've seen kids in bad positions, man. Like just here well, 2 years ago, I found a kid dead in his car
Wow.
that I coached. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
and he was a Ballard kid.
Let's keep it real. Yeah, let's keep it real.
Right, yeah, keeping it real. That was a Ballard kid. Like so, it doesn't matter what school it was because I could go name a bunch of Fern Creek of the troubleness in Fern Creek. I can
Right.
go to Iroquois and do the same thing. Sitting at Ballard, man, we just had one pass away, get murdered the other day. Like
Right.
it doesn't matter the name of the school.
Exactly. Exactly.
Kids get into craziness no matter what.
No matter what. And we went to school. with people.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, ain't nobody like nobody is exempt from this. That's just how. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
So okay, we went back to Ballard. Let me ask you this. So we talked about it, coaching sons and things like that. Um, did you have an inkling? I mean, and I know you didn't, and I know I'm just gonna ask this because that Hall of Fame, man, that's big, bro. That's huge.
I,
I mean,
I'm still in shock. At the end of the day, man, I the respect that I've gained from coaching from other coaches, that means a lot to me. And when they won, I didn't even know I got nominated to
right.
be in the Hall of Fame. Two, when I got that phone call, I literally told the dude Kenny Walker. I told him on the phone. I said, "You must be trying to call somebody else. This ain't for me." He was like, "Nah, Kunta, it's you." And I was like, "No, can't be.
Right,
You
right,
got it mixed up." Like coming to Ballard, and working with Mike Jackson was one of the best things I did for my life because, like I said, I was going through what I went through at Iroquois. I mean, at Doss, and
Jackson.
it was Mike Jackson.
He,
It was
hey,
a
yeah,
mental beat down at Doss where Mike Jackson allowed me to breathe again, if that makes sense.
it does.
Uh, I didn't have to worry about being the paperwork guy, talk to the parent guy,
Right,
none of that. You know
right,
what I mean? I could just go in, coach my guys, and go home.
right.
You know what I mean? But being able to go in that first year with Mike Jackson, change the culture. He was like, "You the head coach of the defense. I'm the head coach of the offense, and
Right.
together we gonna do this together." You know what I mean? And that like literally changed my whole feeling, man. And I don't know if I've ever told Mike this, but he kind of saved my life at that point to allow me to still live and do me. Like I had a little girl at the time, just had a little girl, so having to leave practice early to go get her, and he and living in Indiana, so it was
Yeah.
crazy. So he would give me these concessions to make everything work for me. You know what I mean? And I appreciate him and I thank him for that. You know what I mean? And that first year we had a game away from the state championship. You know what I mean? And I that second year right back, you know what I mean? And then we get back in Trinity's district, and the rest is like craziness after that. But
Stop it. Stop it.
yeah. And then of course, Adrian Morton comes after that. And then actually, 2016, I sat down. Like I didn't coach 2016 because Mike Jackson left. I
Right.
didn't get the job at Ballard. They hired another guy, and me and that guy just wasn't gonna mesh. So I knew it was time for me to sit down. And I actually tried to retire then,
Oh,
but I did. I tried to retire then, but the opportunity for my son to come to Ballard
right.
brought me back,
That's
and
great.
that brought me back. And 6 years later, here we go.
So
But
hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, I knew this was gonna be special because Hall of Fame is not just about culture; it's about relationships
yeah,
and the relationships you build. And everybody who knew you, oh man, come on, bro, they went ham. They love you, brother, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
what you did for these kids, and you're gonna continue to do. I mean, that's how it is. Like you said, you
yeah,
want life. You always. I love you for doing that
man. I appreciate
for
it.
the community, man, for these players, man, because a lot of times people get things misconstrued, and that's wrong. But that's okay. It's different. Being a coach, being into athletics and things like it, people are not gonna understand the full throttle of it, and you're one of the ones who has been blessed to get it. And
Yeah,
I want to say, you know, B. Cosby on the show, and he said, "Look, when you bring Coach Foam on here, would you did you ask talked about the sandals, the sandals? So can you go ahead and before we get off the show, can you talk about
Oh
the
my
sandals?
lord!
Can you talk
So,
about the sandals, man?
so B comes to practice one day, and this dude got on some flip flops. I said, "Sir, what you about to do in those?" He said, "Man, I'm about to coach." I said, "No, you're not." I said, "That don't even look professional, bro." I said, "It's like coming out here in some jeans and thinking you about to coach some football, man. You can't do that." He's like, "Man, my feet, man, I gotta be comfortable. I like, that's not legit." So this dude puts on Twitter the other day that he got some Crocs, some Croc cleats,
Yes.
some Croc cleats, and tags me. I said, "Bro, listen." I love this dude to absolute death, and he just texts me. But I love this dude to
He
death,
been texting
man.
me.
I need his shoe game not to be. I needed his shoe game to be different, boy, on that field, man. I mean, honestly, I'm not ever gonna say I'm the most disciplined dresser on a football field, but there are certain things that, to me, if you're a serious coach, you can't walk out there and be. You can't have on jeans, right? You can't have on. You can't have on flip flops. Definitely can't come out with flip flops and no socks. Like, bro, what are you really trying to
Right.
accomplish today?
Oh Lord. Hey,
You got,
the mayor, you didn't tell me that you have all that, bro.
bro. You gotta look the part, man. Like I used to laugh at Ty. Ty and them coaching staff, man. Ty and them had the greatest coaching outfits ever, bro. They be having the Dickie shorts, the big yellow Dickie shorts, the
Yeah.
black, I mean the fly shirts. Man, I used to be like, man, if I ever had the money to get my coaches all this gear, I would. And then I'd be like, nah, you know what? We good in these khakis and polos. We good in these khakis and polos, man. So,
Love it. I had to bring it up, and I had to bring up another one. I've been, I've seen a lot of posts. You know him, I know him. Rest in peace, Chris Brooks. Um, you know, right around the corner. I know
yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, knew little Chris, you know what I'm saying, from church, from her, you know what I'm saying, from
yeah.
Southwest Parkway, and like every time I see when you post things like that, man, it touched my heart. Um, we have a lot of people down here who has been successful and done things, and always good to see when we recognize the fallen angels, stuff like that, and,
Yeah.
and rest in peace, Chris Brooks, big time,
So my youngest son actually is named after Chris. His middle name is Christian.
Oh wow,
Um,
wow,
Chris Brooks, in his short time on this earth, and in my neighborhood, because his house, I can
right,
see his backyard from my front porch,
yeah,
right?
right,
Um, his mom Cynthia, his dad Robert, man, these were people that, like, to me, were second mom and dad in the hood, man. And Chris was my little brother, is my little brother, and I say it all the time, 4-5 to the day I die.
right, right,
But
right,
this,
right,
that dude was a big stick of glue, because he kept everybody in that neighborhood together. He linked neighborhoods. You go Cecil and Broadway,
right,
Market Street. Chris linked the West End. You know what I mean? And it was just his energy, what he brought to you. He always had a laugh or a smile, but he was serious on certain things,
right,
man.
right, right, right.
That dude was a different animal, man. And you know, I always think about the day he passed away, man. Had just left him, right? He was like, I'm about to go riding. He's like, you gonna
Right,
come? And I was like, man, I'm not getting back on no motorcycle right now.
right,
He's
right.
like, man, on, man, come on. I didn't go. So I got in my car and I went to my apartment, man. And about, I don't know, maybe about an hour and a half later, I get a phone call, man. And I just remember losing my mind.
Right.
And we go to the hospital. Well, he went to the hospital first.
Right.
And we at U of L Hospital, they was just building a ramp over on the side, man. And they came back out and told us he was gone, man. I tore that whole ramp down off the wall.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
was hurt, you know, and I mean, to look around, come out of that, back out of that hospital door and see the entire neighborhood outside that hospital, man, and then the funeral, that procession. I think it might have been the longest funeral procession I've seen in my life.
Right.
That dude touched everybody,
Right.
and everybody loved him. You know, even the people that didn't like him loved him.
Right. 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 Right.
You know, he just had that touch, and he was younger than us, but it didn't matter because he still touched everybody, and made even grown people love this dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's my guy, man. To the day
I couldn't do this interview without bringing it up.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? I know little Chris, you know what I'm saying? I'm older than you guys. I know little Chris.
Yeah.
Come around, Corey Brown.
Yeah.
All and all that stuff like that. All that kind
Crazy.
of
Matt
Crazy.
Crazy.
Matt Crazy. You know he does, he did all the music for the Mark and Will show, man.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. What's up, Crease? Shout out to Crease, man. That's my guy.
Yeah,
Listen,
man.
him and Jason, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So man, what I'm saying is I love my neighborhood.
Yeah.
We have some heavy hitters. We have all kinds of stuff. And I'm so proud of you guys, man, for doing what you do and have done and continue to do. I'm not gonna wish nothing bad or anything. And I don't think it's bad, but I don't know. I still might have a chance to see you in that purple gold one time. I don't know, but you still young, man. You still young. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
After I retire from JCPS, I might come back and if the opportunity presents itself,
Hey,
if I'm not coaching college football or live in a different state by
right, I'm
then,
just saying, look, bro. I'm just being real, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I don't want to get people. This is me, from a bulldog to another bulldog, so everybody don't get all in the tizzy. I'm just saying. Hey, man, I love what you do and everything, but hold on. Before we wrap it up, this is your chance to give everybody, the shout out. You've been doing it, but let's go on and do it again. Shout out to everybody who's been an important person in your life, bro.
man, that list is so long. I couldn't even.
Go ahead, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro. I don't know what you gotta do.
As we telling stories, man. So for real, to every player, and I got a bunch of pictures to make this video, this retirement video.
Right.
But to every player that I ever coached, man, I thank you for allowing me to be in your life and to coach you. I thank you for the opportunities. I thank you for just allowing me to push you, allowing me to motivate you, allowing me to just do whatever I did. If I was able to coach you, blow a whistle, whether it was track, girls basketball,
you tell that story.
Yeah, because it was a short story and it didn't need to be told.
Go ahead.
Hey, and if it wasn't for Doc Butler, it probably wouldn't happen either. But for every kid, man, that ever got to coach, even the kids I coached at camps, man, I got to spend times with in different cities. It was a absolute pleasure and an absolute honor for me to be able to do that. And I thank you. I thank all of them. I thank all of them every chance I get. And I thank God for giving me that opportunity to stand in front of them and be a coach. You know what I mean? To be able to still walk out on Ballard's Field and just yell, "What's up, Bruins?" And now I hear you, "What's up, Coach?" in unison. That means the world to me. Or "What's up, Dragons?" Whatever it may be, that means the world to me, man. The All-Star games, the Kentucky-Tennessee game, whatever it may be, man. I thank all those kids and to all the coaches, man. There's so many. There's so many that's out there, man. Dale Sturgill, Lewis Dover. I can't. Let me say this before I get off here. I cannot not talk about Kenny Walker, Lewis Dover, and Mike Crow,
Mine.
and guys like that. Man, they literally have helped me through this journey. Through that journey, man, I would never be a Hall of Famer without them. Me and Dover got so close that he was the head coach of Seneca and I was the head coach of Dawson. We used to call ourselves the Red Dragons because because like I would give him tips on defense, he would give me tips on offense. So we would literally watch each other's film, and um, I shout out to all of those guys, man. I love them to death, and I greatly appreciate everything that they've done. Tommy Ackland, I wouldn't be who I am without that dude. Mark Catlett for the opportunities. Doug Snyder for giving me my first coaching job. Kevin Salyer for the athletic director at Doss for allowing me to be a head coach and teaching me what it meant to be a leader of a school, because he always said he's a basketball coach, but he said Dawson don't go how you present it with football. However football goes is how the years go.
Right.
And he was right about that. The worst year we had at Doss academically, the worst year we had at Doss discipline wise, we went 2-9.
Mm.
And I didn't understand that until after that, but he was right. The absolute worst year we ever had at Dawson, we was 2-9, and so Kevin Salyer, Beth Salyer, like I said earlier, Tammy Powers, all of those people over at Dawson, my Fern Creek people, Bob Bronger, Eric Dick, I thank all of them, man. But if I had to put a small group of coaches that influenced me the most, Wesley McGriff would be number one.
Ooh.
Bob Redmond would be number two. Pappy Redmond would be number three. George Small number four, and Owen Sixthgrave number five. Man, these dudes, like, they instill things in me that I still use today, and I greatly appreciate it forever. Shout out to Ballard High School's coaching staff, my last coaching defensive staff, Adrian Morton, little bruh. It took a while, but we became pretty good friends, man. That's my little brother. Shout out to him for allowing me the opportunity to coach my sons, because without him, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. So with him being at the head coach the entire time, he told me the other day, man, this is the first time we're going into a season without a farmer on the sideline. I was like, you about right. Yeah. So shout out to him, Mitchell McAllister, Larry Jackson, the first female football coach at Ballard that I brought over, Alexis Green. Yeah, shoot, man, so many. Joe Washington, so many, man. These guys like helped me to be a Hall of Fame coach, man. Something that I never even fathomed that would happen this quickly, if not at all, man. Just being part of an elite group of coaches in Kentucky, especially in being black and in that fraternity of
Right.
Hall of Fame, is a different ballgame. You know what I mean? And I got to go in with my brother Lavelle Boyd
Yeah.
and my mentor Kenny Walker, man. That's a different, and Mike Gossett. God bless. I can't forget Mike Gossett. These guys were just. I mean, I can't say enough about them, and I greatly appreciate all of them. But shout out to my wife for putting up with me.
Hey, don't worry. Hey. I was waiting because I'm like, man, his list is long, but I ain't gonna let the wife not get. So that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna make sure
Right.
they get taken care of.
The crown jewel. Listen, my wife is amazing, and she does amazing things. That the thing that I love about her, she hated football, bro. Like football was the absolute worst thing ever for her, and over the years, man, she came to love it. She was at every game, never missed a game. She traveled. She helped me get things together for football, man. She's the ultimate I'm never gonna call her a football wife, but she is the ultimate wife. The person that you need to support you, to push you, to motivate you, to make you understand deeply what your purpose is. My wife's a therapist, so she knows how to dig and pull it out of me. You know what I
I'm
mean? So,
come on, let's get
uh,
it. Yeah, yeah.
you know, shout out Best Life Mental Health Therapy, Health Services. If you need help, mental health, look us up. We'll hook you up. How about that? Inbox.
Hey man, come on, man. Y'all play. I'm playing, but I love it. I need to talk to you later.
Well, hit me up. Man, look, wait, time out. Thank you, bro. Like, I watched you play football in 91, 92, bro. Um, just knowing every time I see you, man, I feel like he don't know who I am. Hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? And then getting to know you later on, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to be on this show, man. Like, I literally watch it all the time, man. And you have some great guests, some great content, great commentary, man. Man, listen, keep doing your thing, man. Keep killing it, keep growing, and man, I love it. I love you, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, man. Let me go on and knock it out of the park on her. First of all, man, I love you, little bro. Your work's not done.
No.
It ain't even have to be. It ain't even football. I love what you get ready to do. Your next chapter, and you're gonna go ahead and be successful to that. I love the stories and your life experience that you have shared on this show. That's what this show is about. Um, hey man, you a role model, you an example. You're hey. As black men, we don't celebrate each other enough. We don't
Yeah.
tell each other we love you enough.
My
And
wife tells me that all the
I
time.
love what you're doing, and I know that it's not over. I just know.
Right.
And like I said, this is a different chapter in your life, and you're doing what you do. And I'm so happy that you were able to come on the show and just kick it with me for a little bit, man. And you know how it's Bulldogs. We don't stop. We keep going. We like Grim. We keep multiplying. And I'm gonna tell
Right.
you, man, I'm so happy for you and the success that you have accomplished. I'm so happy for you and your family to go ahead and take a deep breath, relax. I'm so happy that you was in these guys' lives and you was experiencing some of this headaches and traumas because that what makes a man.
Yeah.
Glad that you was able to get out there, get your health together and all this kind of stuff. I was so happy that you out also was able to coach your sons. Not people get opportunity to do that on that level. And I'm so happy that you are in a good shape right now, mentally, physically, all that good
Yeah.
shit. Well, hey, thank you for joining the show, man. And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna get with you because anytime y'all need a fundraiser or something like that, holler at me, man. We'll do whatever we can do on this show and all that kind of good stuff, man. I'm just proud of you. That's all I gotta say, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for it. Thank you.
Hey, love you, and I definitely be in that box, brother. Peace out.
Most definitely.
That's what we do on the show. I can't top it no more. I can't really talk no more. Tomorrow we got Central's coach on her, Coach Dansler. I'm sure that's gonna be a banger like always. But that's why we do the show, guys. That's why we do the show. We want to hit you with the real content, man. We ain't that freaky deep people do all kinds of crazy. No. We bring it here. This wasn't about no strictly male thing or whatever. This guy right here, Hall of Famer. LaKunta, hey, much love, brother.
Mark and Will. Yeah. What you know about them Bulldogs and them Panthers? Legacy. That's right. Legacy. That's right. Legacy. That's right. Legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Mel and PIP's in on this legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.